Welcome to the Download Podcast.
Is the AI going to eat the cats?
But I like my job.
All right, lightning round.
Lightning round. This is the top 10 questions everybody's asking about AI. So the first one is, what is AI?
AI is artificial intelligence, which is a computer software that can do something traditionally reserved for needing human cognition. That could be something like computer vision, which is you show it a picture and it identifies it as a cat or a dog or anything like that, all the way through to being able to respond with natural language.
So you're like grouping in the whole machine learning even.
Well, I guess when I think about artificial intelligence, it's what normally the computer, like a deterministic computer program, couldn't do.
Right.
Like the Turing test, right? Which was blown through a couple of years ago. That nobody could really do with a deterministic program, which is like if this then that, you couldn't really do it. But now with things like the transformer architecture, which is what LLMs are based on, and then there's machine learning, which is for like computer vision, networks, document recognition, stuff like that, which is, imagine a giant spreadsheet almost where you would train it to say, this is a picture of a cat, this is a picture of a cat, this is a picture of a cat, right? With like the bits or whatever. And you can use that for any kind of data. And so you would train it. So you would label the data, and you label enough data, and then it can start to say, well, now I need to fill in whether it's true or false, cat or dog or whatever. Then you compare the data and you say, well, there's enough in common here. There's a 95% chance that it's a cat or a dog. And that's the difference between deterministic, which is if this, then that, and you have to put in the value, to, I guess, another way you look at it is artificial intelligence is probabilistic, meaning there's a 95% chance that that's a dog or a cat, or when you're talking about a language model, it's inferring the next token, the next word, is that probably the next word is this or that.
Yeah. All right. So the next one is, how do I use AI?
I mean, it's not a good question, right?
It is kind of a crappy question.
How do I use AI? It depends.
Depends on what you're trying to do.
How do you even answer that?
I would say, you pick one or the other, ChatGPT or Claude or whatever your flavor is that you prefer, and you get in and just start talking to it about your problems. And
right. So let's put the constraint on that. Who's asking the question, right? If it's my mom saying, I've been hearing about this AI. How do I use AI? I'd say you go to chatgpt.com. And there's going to be a text box, and you ask it a question, and it gives you an answer. That's how. Yeah. I mean, that's a valid answer to how do you use AI. I wouldn't say download Cursor and start doing this or that.
Open up a Claude session.
But
Get
like
your
how
terminal browser.
But if a normie came up and said, "How do I use AI?" I would say go to chatgpt.com. That'd be the easiest thing. Like for a while, ChatGPT was like the Kleenex of AI, right?
Right.
Or the Xerox.
Yeah. All right. And then I guess this one's equally as horrible. What is generative AI? I suppose there's a little more nuance to it, but.
It kind of goes to the not deterministic thing that I was saying earlier. So generative is you give it a prompt. I mean, there's a reason that it's not called question and answer, right? It's called a prompt and inference, right? So you are giving it a prompt, meaning here is, and a prompt could be text, it could be an image, it could be video, it could be whatever. It's some kind of input. It's a prompt, which is, here's the input. Now infer the output, which is to, now I'm going to generate the next token, or I'm going to generate the next pixels. I'm going to generate the next video frame, whatever. So generative AI is sort of freely generating based on a prompt.
Right. Cool. Next one is, will AI take my job?
Yes.
In what capacity?
I guess given enough time,
Yeah.
but that might be desirable, right? Like that'd be like back in the day, if you're cracking rocks with a sledgehammer, you're like, oh, will the jackhammer or will the Industrial Revolution take my job? It's like, I hope so, right? Like if I'm manually tilling the fields, like, well, will a tractor take my job? It's like, if you're lucky, right? If you live long enough. So that's one way to look at it. But I'd say if you have to ask, if you're asking that, it probably means you're more likely to lose your job sooner to AI, because you aren't learning it, or you don't have the curiosity to learn it quickly enough. Like, oh, is AI going to take my job? It's like, I don't know. You should find out. Go see if you can use AI to do your job, which is first of all, you're going to find out, can AI do my job? And if so, you're probably going to get a raise.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you should find that solution and propose the solution and then get the raise, right? So the next question is, can AI be trusted? It's kind of a trick question in a way, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, the questions do seem to be like the most asked questions, which is going to be like the long tail of people. Like if once you learn and you're using AI, you're asking probably more nuanced or at least more specific questions, right? Like asking is like, how do I use AI? Will AI take my job? Like, should I trust AI? Are sort of pre-early adopter questions. You know, people haven't really tried it yet. Yeah, trust.
Well, I think that's where society as a whole is at, you know.
And should what was it? What was the exact framing? Can I trust AI, or should I trust
AI?
I mean, yes. Yes, you can. Should you is another question. And in what context, right?
I go to hallucinations.
Yeah. Should I trust AI to give me good advice about what pills I should be taking for the pain in my chest?
Probably
maybe. Like, no, you probably shouldn't. Can you? I mean, you can trust whatever you want.
So, all right, this one's a bit better. What AI is best, or which?
One
AI
other thought
is
on the
best?
trust.
Yeah.
Should I trust it? Could I? Can I trust it? Is to. There's an assumption baked into both of those, is that does AI is the AI aware of anything, including me, or does it care about me? That
true.
I can tell you, no. Definitely, like it does not have an agenda. It does not have a reason to be alive. Like it doesn't. It gives zero fucks, right? Basically, it is just a program that runs, right? That you put text in, and it makes an extremely sophisticated, educated guess at the next series of words that it sends back to you, which is mesmerizing and incredibly how well it does it. But it doesn't care. Like it doesn't remember you. It doesn't know you. It doesn't care about you at all. It's not aware of anything.
Not conscious. All right. Which AI is best, or which? Yeah.
which AI is best?
Yeah. My vote's with Claude.
If I had to pick one, I would say my pick is GPT 5.5.
You're going with a model.
Well, I mean, how would you define what do you, how else would you think about it?
I mean, the companies themselves have their own sort of philosophies and ways they do business and things they're focused on. And then inside of that, yeah, obviously the next best model that company sells is going to be the best model currently. And then they're always trying to come out with newer, better ones. But I think you're really kind of picking your stakes with which company you're going to go with, you know?
So you're saying, so is the question, which AI company do I most philosophically align with?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the way I read it. It was generic, so, but that's kind of the way I read it.
Well, Anthropic would definitely be dead last for me.
Really?
Oh yeah, I know. I don't.
Why is that?
They got the whole effective altruist thing going on. I think all their fear mongering marketing is just to preemptively bring in regulation. It's a very common lefty tactic. You know, for example, when you think about like, well, isn't regulation good? It's like, well, when you think about, was it like the 90s when all like the bank regulation was coming in? It's like, oh, those Republicans, they don't want to regulate the banks. But then when you look at all the lobbying, who was lobbying Democrats for more bank regulation? All the giant banks. Why do you do that? So that the cost to operate as a bank goes up high enough so that small banks can't compete, right? That's just one example of why a company might want to increase regulation, right? And I think the fear mongering itself just alone is irritating at best and dangerous at worst, and is doing nothing for the overall adoption of the technology that I think I'm very optimistic of, and I think will be overall good for humanity. So I think the fear mongering is very self-serving and douchey. I also find, well, it's kind of a tie. I find Dario the most irritating to listen to, but Sam A is a close second. I find, yeah, and you can really see the whole marketing change now, right? They're like, oh, well, if we really fear monger the crap out of AI, then, and make AI seem super, super dangerous. I mean, they do the same playbook, like with Mythos right now, you know, 3-4 weeks ago. It's like Mythos is like so dangerous. It cannot be released to the public.
Yeah.
So we're going to give it to all the biggest software companies in the world so that they can use it to, you know, patch the software and fix it so that when it gets released, that, you know, will be saved. And then, you know, 4.8 came out and it said that Mythos is coming out in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm glad Microsoft has patched all of their instances of Windows. And I mean, so it's just clearly, obviously bullshit.
Marketing.
And like, look, I don't love OpenAI and
It's kind of like pick your
that
poison.
either. But when 5.5 came out, I mean, they have their specialty security focused model. But they didn't make a huge big deal about it, right? They didn't do a whole marketing campaign, Project Glasswing. I don't know. I don't like how they're operating. And I would say just one other thing, that they kind of like all these AI companies that are planning to go public this year. The one thing I don't hear enough people being pissed off about is, so we're at the top of the stock market right now. We're at like arguably clear bubble territory. And they're getting like $1 trillion valuations, planning to go public this year. Like, it used to be early on, you would go public to raise capital, and the public could benefit from that growth, right? But now, now you're going public. Your initial public offering is going to be at $1 trillion, and right now where the stock market is, where with SpaceX and all these big giant IPOs coming out this year, this is when retail's all going to jump in, and it's going to be exit liquidity for all the VCs. It's not about going like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem fair. Like, you got all these VCs that have all this money that are, 100, 1000xing their investments. And then now it's like, let's just go public so we can exit. I understand it's not across the board, but I mean, you'd be over the moon if after Anthropic goes public, you double your investment in the next year, right? Like, that would be that would be incredible, right? For a public company worth $1 trillion.
Right.
I think more likely than that, I mean, multiple $1 trillion IPOs in the next year. It just seems like, I would. Let's just say I'm not jumping in on those IPOs.
Going back to the question, can I trust AI?
I think you can trust AI, but you know what? It's you know the old Dr. Seuss. I can't remember what the name of it is. It's the stacks of turtles, right? When you talk about like, is AI good? Is AI bad? And so I actually wrote an article about how the Defense Department could look at Anthropic as a problem back when they were having their dispute. And if you want a bit more background on the research that I did and why I have some of these thoughts is, and when you're thinking about like AI, should I trust AI? If you follow the technology, you follow the money, at the end of it, there's a person.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't trust AI, that means you don't trust Anthropic, and you don't trust OpenAI, which means you don't trust the people that are running those companies. And, I don't think you're paranoid to not trust those people.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
But it's people. Always has been, always will be.
The next one was, will AI replace Google?
Google does tons of AI, so I don't know if that makes sense.
I suppose they mean the
AI
search
replace
engine.
the search engine?
Yeah.
I mean, yes.
I think so. I think it is already in some case. I mean, Google's, if you do a regular Google search anymore, you're getting some sort of an AI filtered response,
I think it's more like, will the AI interface replace the browser? Like, am I now going to go to the browser, to go to google.com to do my search? No. Those days are over, I would say. For not over, but like the end is near. The path for me seems pretty clear that the new business software, the new general purpose application is going to be the AI workspace, like your codexes, your coworks, your cursors. That, I think that's the way it's going to go. And I mean, even like, I love Codex, but it just opens the browser in that app. So even then, it's like, is the browser gone? No, but just doing a search at google.com. I mean, I did it twice in this call, so
Yeah,
what do I know?
it's true. All right. The next one was, how do agents work?
How do agents work? What's a good way to answer that? I guess the first thought that pops in my head is comparing it to something else. And then you have to assume the asker of the question understands how the something else works reasonably well. Well, let's just go with the word. So how does an agent work? So an agent has agency, which I would say, and it's not like a clearly scientifically defined word when you talk about an AI agent. Some people would say that when you go into ChatGPT, the thing that you are interacting with is the agent, but that's not very useful. But I would say if you want to really hang your hat on the word agent, which means it has agency, I would say something more like an OpenClaw, I would call to be more of an agent, right? Where it has agency, which really what makes it special is it can wake up and go and do something without you explicitly telling it to. That you've got an AI, which again, just a piece of software, which is something that's sitting there waiting for something to happen, some trigger, which could be some of your business data changes, goes over a certain threshold, or an email comes in or whatever, and it responds to it, and it can look at that context and then make a decision to go and do something with it. So sort of it has agency, as opposed to like something like a chatbot, which all it does is like it can't do anything. It just sits there dormant. And the only way that you can engage with it is to send it text or an image or whatever, right? And it just replies. That's all it does.
Yeah.
You don't have ChatGPT as you're working all of a sudden go, hey, how's it going? Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that a good answer?
Yeah, I think so. The next one was, can I make money with AI?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of. And then the last one that I had was, will AGI happen? And I suppose
Yes.
we should explain what AGI is.
Artificial general intelligence, which I believe is defined as, is there a model like I guess the most powerful model would be the first one to be considered AGI, which is, can it basically have the level of intelligence of the 1%, the 99th percentile intelligent human in that category, across all categories. And I'd say AGI has happened. We are post-AGI.
Yeah, I think so. Where was the turning point then? Probably somewhere around the OpenClaw era. I feel like that's when I noticed that something had changed.
I think it was the 2025 Christmas miracle, December 2025, when which I guess was Claude 4.6, GPT 5.4. For me, I really noticed on with when 5.5 came out. That was when I really noticed a big bump. But again, there's no clear definition, like here's how you will know, like there's it's not like one measure, but I mean, I think you can answer for yourself, like it from your own personal experience, it's probably the most capable expert in any category that a normal person would care about. Right
So then I guess my question is, will ASI happen? And what is ASI?
I would say in some categories, ASI has happened. So artificial superintelligence, which is instead of being in the 99th percentile or the 100th percentile of intelligence on a particular topic, it's now greater than the 100th percentile. So now it is more advanced in some level of intelligence than the smartest human in that category. Which, I guess, one example, was it last week? There was some math proof that had gone 60 or 80 years, some geometry thing that hadn't gone solved. Now it got, I believe it got disproved or whatever. Anyway, it did some super fancy math thing that no human could do. The humans have been working on for the last 60 years, I think. And it got it. So in that one tiny category, it would be like, well, that thing is smarter than the smartest human in that category. So by definition, it would be a super intelligent, again, in that narrow band, right?
Right.
So I would say, yeah, then in that case, is that even a definition of intelligence because it fixed one thing? I don't know. Like it solved one thing. These are all hype terms.
Yeah.
For the most part. But I'd say, to answer the yes or no question, say yes. Right. Now, I guess artificial super duper intelligence would be when it's now in the greater than 100th percentile level of intelligence across every domain.
So, yeah. And I always thought that ASI was more when it reaches a point where we don't understand why it's doing what it's doing.
Well,
because like AGI, it kind of it meets and exceeds, humans and let's say programming, because that's kind of what everybody's going after. And then ASI is where like it's now building itself, and it's building itself in a way where we're like, I don't know why it's doing that.
Well, I mean, even since the transformer architecture came out, which is what the LLMs are based on now, even they don't know why it works.
Yeah.
So, but I guess I guess it'll be most noticeable where you go, where everybody's like, yeah, there's that super intelligence is when it starts saying, when it gets into like the physics and it's curing diseases and all this stuff, which is, I think good things where it's like, you guys can figure out like anti-gravity, like, and like, and all these things. So I think that's what we're supposed to be expecting right now, where that's like, yeah, that's obviously super intelligent. There's actually a podcast, not a podcast, sorry. There's a TED Talk that's over 10 years old now. Sam Harris, he did a TED Talk it's about 10 minutes. It was on TED. And he talks about super intelligence and the intelligence explosion and all that. And it was pretty good foresight for that long ago. I won't give away the ending of that TED Talk, which is a little bit disconcerting.
Yeah. Which one was that again? Who is he talking to?
It was a TED Talk.
Oh, was it? So he was just... Yeah, I'll have to look that up. I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, it's really good. It's one of my favorites. Maybe I'll have a lightning round for you next time.